Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am Riley Magnuson. This is hopefully still working for me. This is East Coast Sports Investors Closing Bell for Tuesday, May 30th. I believe I will be joined by Jeff Dawson here shortly. This is the closing bell for Tuesday, May 30th. We are rocking and rolling here into the new week after the Memorial Day holiday. A couple of championship series on the horizon here at the end of this week. And we'll get into some recap here as the show goes on, and we will tie anything up as far as the MLB world is concerned. So should be a decent little show here we've got. We will break down the entire MLB slate tonight, starting up in a couple of hours, I do believe. And as mentioned, no NBA or NHL to talk about for tonight, but I'm sure we'll be recapping what just happened this past weekend, what transpired last night in Game 7. Total whomping from for the majority of the game at the hand of Caleb Martin and the Miami Heat there. So beyond that, I don't have anything else to mention. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Memorial Day weekend, obviously a nice long weekend there. It was, at least in my neck of the woods, nice weather, so hopefully it was around the country. Evening, Connor, thank you for stopping by as well. But yeah, as we get into this thing here, NHL also finishes last night. Conference finals, I should say, finishes last night. Saturday will be the start of the Stanley Cup in that regard. 6-0 whomping at the hands of the Golden Knights last night. And then, obviously, for any NBA fans following Monday night, Game 7 of the Miami and Boston series, we obviously were not here for a show. I was on the Miami Heat last night. Took a little slice of the money line as well last night. So looking pretty solid going into Thursday. We've got Denver as of right now minus 8.5 for Game 1. 9 in some spots, minus 9. 219, 219.5. So we will get there throughout the week. And we might even touch on the series as a whole a little bit here in a second. But obviously, Nuggets more than well rested. The 4-game sweep, being able to stare at this past series here. Now they're sitting at minus 480 for the entire series, with Miami at plus 330. As we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jeff Dawson. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Mournfully in front of a no longer active basketball gym here in the next couple of weeks. How are we doing today, my friend?
It's glad to be back here and much appreciated to all your hard work throughout the last week to 10 days, at least covering the closing bell. I'd like to say that this was unexpected. I really do. But as you know, my thoughts on this team is simple. They are the teabag effect. They don't get working till they're in hot water. They built a 3-0 deficit and they says, well, just give us one. And they got one. Just give us another. They held serve. They got another. Well, the miracle tip in by Derek White to force that Game 7. Now all is ended. We got to the Game 7. We told you we would, but they forgot there was work left. And right after that game, Spoelstra, Butler, they weren't shaking. They were like, we're going to win this. Spoelstra was like, let's play now. Let's get it over with. And the Celtics end the playoff season 5-6 at home. I said this all along. If you bet the Celtics spread and the opponent's team money line every game, you'd be at the Bellagio presidential suite right now. They just kept pooping their pants. 9-4 early. Yes, Tatum did roll his ankle on the first play. If it wasn't for Derek White, there wouldn't have been a Game 7, obviously. But number two, the Celtics would have lost by 40. He was like the only guy that said, just give me the ball. I'll make something happen. And I am the number one Jaylen Brown fan. take it to my grave. I wanted him. I want him to stay. I want the Celtics to build around him. If you're going to split the two, I'll move Tatum tomorrow. Just because I think Brown gives you more. That's my initial thought, and it's always been. And after all this, they're talking about doesn't want to stay in Boston, had a problem with this guy, Grant Williams, this, that, the other. I mean, the writing is on the wall, whether they give him his max deal and then already have a deal with Houston. That's where he wants to go. He wants to go play with Ime. It's going to be a long off season. I don't know if they'll be proactive. There's a lot of dissension, whether it's just Brown, Brogdon, Pritchard. There's a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors. I hope it doesn't all come out publicly. It was fitting, Riley. Let me ask you, outside looking in, because I can say, just like the Bruins were the fault of the Panthers, your Bulls were 3 minutes away from not even allowing the Heat into the playoffs.
Right. And as far as, I mean, a lot of people obviously have been talking so much about this Heat run really kind of shining a light on how little the regular season matters. And there is some of that absolutely there. But like you said, they were this close from not even being in the first round up against Milwaukee in that situation. So they are a team that obviously just doesn't falter in that moment and has can make a lot of other teams uncomfortable. And so if you don't have, as in the Celtics case, just not having, they have a lot of guys obviously like Marcus Smart, Williams, both Williams, Derek White, guys that just, are fantastic for a team, but not enough shot creators. And so when you have a team like Miami and what they can do defensively, and especially add one guy that gets hot like Caleb Martin, and it's almost a nightmare to try and beat that team. So, as from looking at the Celtics, I think there's going to be, whether it's a full, rebuild around one guy this season, I don't know if it'll all come crashing down, but over the next year or two, there's going to be some decent type of retooling going on. You obviously got a couple guys that are aging a little bit that you need to swap around there with, the Time Lord probably not sticking around too much longer. So there's going to be a lot of retooling, obviously, and like you said, you can see it coming from a mile away as far as that is concerned. And obviously, to come back from 3-0 and tie it up in itself is obviously something to pat yourself on the back on. But like you said, there is still some of that element of not having that final, being able to drive home the nail as far as it's concerned like that. If your back's against the wall, it's one thing, but it's another thing to be, the one that is being hunted and having that different mindset. And they obviously didn't have it.
All year long, you and I sitting here day after day, night after night, saying, well, we're waiting for the Bulls to make their run. We're waiting for the Heat to make their run. We're waiting for the Raptors to make their run. All along, we know how much of a nemesis the Heat are to the Celtics and other teams, obviously.
Yeah.
They had an edge with Spoelstra. The Butler factor in the playoffs, 9 undrafted players. The fact of the matter is that they were a shell of themselves from last year. They took the Celtics to 7 games. No hero. It just, Martin stepping up. Bam didn't play great. He had flashes. Jimmy was trying to get other players going. A couple wide open missed threes in game 6. We wouldn't even be talking about a game 7. Those 3 games that the Celtics won, well, what it did do instead of a sweep or a gentleman's sweep is that for the most part saved Missoula's job, saved Wick $10 million. They'll try to add 2 pieces that got taken away from them. One, the head coach now of Utah, and obviously Damian Stoudemire as well. I did a show this morning with Julian Edlow on from DraftKings. And I said the Celtics, and I'll ask you this question. The Celtics and Jaylen Brown going into this year reminds me of the Red Sox and Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts made it clear, I'm not staying, guys. I don't care. He got offered more money than he did in L.A. He wanted that free agency. He wanted that coddling. With Jaylen Brown getting the All NBA team, he is now awarded $290 million. Well, the following year, Tatum is going to be awarded 310. I'm
Right.
telling you, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm telling you, Wick ain't cutting two checks for $600 million for two players. It ain't,
No.
because it ain't Larry Bird and Michael Jordan we're talking about here.
Right. No, and as you said, I especially with Browns, would it be? What would the answer be if Brown was, bleeding green and white, and was hell bent on staying in Boston? What would the answer be to this question? I don't know, but with what we're talking about and what you led off with as far as what Brown's intentions are, then yeah, it's pretty obvious who's getting that money and who's not. And now I like Tatum a lot, but obviously we've just seen it now the last 2-3 years of not having that full killer mentality game in and game out when it comes to the playoffs. And obviously, maybe you, like you said last night, gets the ankle twist. So maybe, you can't put too much on him in that moment. But even going back to, you and I talked about it plenty last year, and he just wasn't that guy in the finals. And had he been, then you'd probably have a ring on their finger and a banner behind you there if he was that guy and risen to the occasion that he was supposed to last year. So I like him, and I think, is this the end? And is Tatum and the Celtics, if that's the route they go, or are they doomed? If they retooled? No, absolutely not. But there's definitely some answers that need to be, there are questions that need to be answered. Excuse me, and a few boxes to check and some retooling to do for sure.
You're going to hear a lot of Damian Lillard in the offseason here. You're going to hear a Bradley Beal name be floated around. I'm going to say we didn't have it. Miami has it. They got the moxie, excuse my French here. They got the balls. They can dig deep and find ways to win. The guy that I'm going to bring to the table here is the quiet assassin who's always hurt, but he would add something that the Celtics don't have, and that he knows how to win. And I don't know contracts. I don't know anything. I'm just going to float a name out to you. How about the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on, because they've played so, sporadically. I don't know what the contract situation either. If you could convince me that he's going to be, healthy for even a season, I'm still a massive believer in him. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, especially if you can convince someone that he is going to be 90% of what he was when he was in, San Antonio and Toronto when he was healthy. I'm trying to pull up the contract for sure. I would say that's probably a little loft. No, he's still stuck under contract for next year, and then a player option for $48 million the following year. So not this off season, but maybe beyond this off season.
Well, let me ask you: if you knew you were going to lose Jaylen Brown, right? Now, I know if you did a trade without him getting his max deal, he'd be, I don't know if he would want to leave for quote unquote a year and leave $50 million on the table. And my point is, we take Kawhi for the year, we ship them Jaylen Brown, he goes to free agency, he can go wherever he wants. Kawhi can decide to stay for 48 or go to free agency. The way I'm understanding it is he wants his money. He wants to go to Houston. Now, I don't know if the Celtics don't want to pay him, if they want to go through the turmoil all off season and then season with him pouting, yelling, screaming, hollering. And because I know Wick doesn't want to pay him. Or let's say he doesn't want to pay both of them. How's that sound?
Oh, for sure. No, that wouldn't shock me either.
So I don't know what kind of deal you could make. And I don't know what Houston has to come back with someone like Jaylen Brown. They got my guy, and I asked Julian, who did they get? Who was my guy last year? Who did they get last year?
Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on their names too, because they've got so many young guys, and they're the one team that it's still tough to watch them, but I'll tell you in 2 seconds. They got Jalen Green. They got Porter Jr. Was that you're talking about, Kevin Porter Jr.?
No.
Jabari Smith Jr.
Jabari Smith. So again, per Julian and most of Celtic Nation, we're in a window to win now. So, like a
Right.
Jabari Smith doesn't fit that. A Damian Lillard obviously does.
Right.
Bradley Beal obviously does. Kawhi Leonard. But this is what you're going to hear all off season. And
Yeah.
Brad's got his work cut out. You know, you got an aging Horford. You talked about the Time Lord who can't stay healthy. You know, you got to keep a Derek White happy. The first piece that they're talking about, other than Brown now, is Smart. We've been saying we're going to move Smart for years, but it's Coach Smart. And I
Right.
don't know what they're going to do. I personally can see the Celtics building around Smart, Tatum, and whatever that third wheel is. It's not going to be Jaylen Brown long term.
No, that's the thing, and then from a media perspective, there's so much that you can talk about because there's so many options. I don't know how many options they actually have, especially noteworthy guys like that there's going to be a lot more talk than there is action. I think there will be some action and some moves that the Celtics make, but yeah, I mean there'll be, like you said, whether it's the big names or some of these young names or whatever it is. Maybe one or two guys will come, but yeah, there's going to be a lot more names than that will actually be descending to Boston here in a few months. But either way, it'll be a fun off season for anyone who enjoys this type of stuff like I do. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes for sure because, like I said, they do need some shot creators and whatnot, and the big names that you're talking about obviously fill that void. So. They're probably going to have to be pretty damn aggressive though if they're going to want to pull that off.
And I'll close in the Boston scenario with this: is both Bruins and Celtics lost game sevens at home to number 8 seeds, and now you got an all Florida final in the NBA, meaning you got the Heat versus Denver, and you got the Panthers. Now go back to game 5 in Boston. Marshawn steals the puck, got a breakaway to end the game right at the buzzer. Bob stopped it, and the rest has been history. So,
Yep.
President Cup flop, disaster out in the first round. A fail again for the Celtics, not just because they lost in 7 games, but how they did. And to be honest with you, even if they won last night, they are not set up well now to have faced a Denver team that probably would have came in here split and 38-4 with Joker on the court at home, won both those games. Celtics would have found a way to win game 5, and Denver would have wrapped it up in 6.
Yep. Nope, I'm not disagreeing with you. As far as last thing, as far as the offseason, you need a shot creator. We've got a couple in Chicago that you might be able to buy for the right price from us. I know that's not. We're never in those conversations, but I'll try and throw our names in them. You can have Zach LaVine for the right price if you want him.
And speaking of the Bulls, some devastating news, correct? Am I correct?
As far as I saw, are you talking about the TV deal?
No, unless I'm confusing them. I'm probably confused. Melo, potentially not playing ever again. Is that the wrong Melo I'm thinking of? The ball?
Are you thinking Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo.
Oh, I haven't heard anything in the last few days, but he's still just not no clear timeline on anything. So I haven't heard any updates or anything past just not being ready.
I thought I read there's a potential that they're trying to say he may never play again.
You might be right. Actually, yeah. I guess it's like private rumors. I guess it is. So yeah, I guess I hadn't seen any of that stuff. Now that I'm seeing it now, who knows, man? It seems like they didn't have much of a backup plan for that. So curious to see how that goes. But we'll throw him in. You know, he's a good playmaker for you. We'll throw him in for you if you want him.
Well, if you want to swap LaVine for Marcus Smart, I'll drive him to the airport if you want. So.
I don't know about that. Well, yeah, you can have Lonzo too. We'll throw in Lonzo, and you might have a deal.
Oh, how you been? Everything good in your world?
Very solid as far as personal. As far as the sports that are actually going on now, it's not ugly as far as my team is concerned. But personal life and talking sports is very good. It's just this obviously one Southside team that I happen to love and talk about every day that's not doing well. But aside from that, it's all good.
Well, it was great to see Liam Hendricks back.
Yes.
That was an amazing story yesterday. Hats off to him and his family. As I've stated in the ECSI VIPs, anyone watching that is a VIP member, the baseball market for our eyes has shifted dramatically.
Mm.
Unlike the college basketball scene where we had about 2.5 to 3 month run, these guys in Vegas said not, Mr. Dawson, not so fast. Even though the last 27 weeks, 19 winning weeks, 4 losing weeks, and 4 pushes, the grind is times a million right now. Our team totals, they've just made it where it's almost impossible for us to get in. Like tonight, there's 3 options, and all 3 of those teams got to score a touchdown, 6 or better.
Yeah.
The 4.5s to score to 5 have not, they've been every other. The under market, we can't get into the under market on plus dollar value there. Dipped into our toes in a couple first fives. Had success with Minnesota yesterday in the first 5. We're grinding. So everyone that is a part of the ECSI VIPs, thank you for your patience. I know we've had an amazing 27 weeks. We want to finish the year, 25 weeks, I think it is left, just as strong. I don't want to say we're getting to the dog days of summer because we have the NBA finals. And I'll be honest with you guys, I can't lay Denver minus 420. I can't do that. So you guys know me better than that. I do like the Panthers plus money, but I'm kind of curious why it opened at 135, which I thought was high. And the first move I saw in a couple spots was to the Vegas side. So maybe it's remember what they saw last. I don't know. But I think the Panthers will be sitting for almost 2 weeks before they drop the first puck.
Something like that, right? And I mean, like you said, 6-0 last night. That's probably going to be what some people see right off the top of their heads, So, yeah, no, I see minus 140 right now.
Yeah, it went from 135 to 40, and I thought that was high. I thought I would have seen more of the 120 number and maybe get some both sides. A lot of people I talked to love the Panthers. Bob has been standing on his head. Kachuk has been amazing. But again, maybe they're thinking the 2 week rust versus, the 3-4 days from Vegas and the Fortress. I don't know. And Bruins fans, egg on your face again. Mr. Cassidy wasn't the problem, was he? He's in the Stanley Cup, and you guys have been golfing for a month. So little shout out to Bruce and the Knights there. So I'm ready when you are to see if we can tackle this baseball board that looks like Chinese, but let's do it.
Alrighty, let's dive into it there. First one up, I believe we've got a couple hours till we start here. San Diego and Miami. Weathers and Alcantara. Miami minus 140 up from 130, I think, today. As far as these two, Weathers, 4 earned runs in each of his last 2. He's always been a little hit or miss for me. A little more streaky, I guess. Spurts of solid, spurts of bad. Alcantara last time out, 6 hits, 2 earned run, 3 Ks. So a little bit better last time, but the strikeout's still down for him there, which there's a couple guys that are doing that right now. So until Alcantara comes into, becoming full Alcantara form, I don't really know what to expect out of him here. This Padres team obviously is just when you think they're getting rolling, they fall back into it a little bit there. Miami's actually been playing pretty solid, so I don't know. Are you expecting some general offensive regression from Miami, even if they do get some good pitching? Because they won 2-0 yesterday, but or maybe 2 days ago, but over the weekend had some handful of nice offensive days in a row here.
Alcantara has been hit or miss, and he pitched okay his last start. I mean, who would have thought on May 30th, other than, I guess, Alcantara, that the Marlins would ever be favored over a San Diego Padre team who was one of the preseason darlings. They just can't hit. They just can't hit.
I was about to pat myself on the back, but I would not have predicted that. I have the Marlins over, but it's like 70. I don't even remember 76.5 or 78.5. So I would not have predicted them to be favored over San Diego there. But I digress.
Yeah, and I'm looking at team totals. Miami 4.5 juiced under. You can get them to 5 today at plus 125. The Padres 3.5 over, minus 122. If you like the Marlins today, the only thing that I can suggest is a first 5 minus the hook. You should get that about even money, I would think, somewhere around there. Um, I have no problem with people taking the Padres today on the plus money full game as well. Again, it my true number was 7.5 with a 140. Juiced up to 8 now. Uh, First 1 to 4 probably wins this game,
Yeah.
or I could see a 5-3 either side. So Miami side, Alcantara minus the hook first 5. Otherwise, if you like the Padres full game, I don't have a problem with that either.
I'm kind of on the same spot with you on this one. I'm just kind of predicting some general offensive regression here this week from Miami's offense, but against Weathers, who knows? It could be four
We will
four to
see
four heading to the
who
ninth.
we could see who weathers the storm. How's that?
All right. All righty. Next one up, Texas and Detroit. Perez and Faedo. Perez, 2 solid starts after a bad stretch. Hits are still kind of high these last couple for him. And Faedo has been he's been fine. 3 earned runs or less than 4 starts in a row here. Texas only minus 130. Is this some love for Detroit, or is this a stinky one? Texas has played some pretty damn good baseball here. Detroit's only a game out of the AL Central lead, I believe. Just took 3 out of 4 from my White Sox. Texas wins 5-0. Is this a stinky one here? Or is this a definitely? Are you looking at this as a Detroit number here?
Yeah, my overnight number was minus 130 with an 8.5. It's down to 122. I know I went against Martin his last start. We had the opponent team total, got into trouble in the first, weaseled out of it, and then settled right down. If you can do what was his last start numbers?
Last 2 pretty similar. 7 innings both times. 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks last time out. So the base runners were there. Yeah, that was against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we had the Pirates to get to 5 there, I think it was, and they scored 2. I want to say they scored 2 in the first and stuck on stupid. So I think what it is, to be honest with you, is a Tiger number. I think I'm waiting for that regression. Don't forget last year, this kid put a streak together for 6, 7, 8, 9 starts where he was almost unhittable. But I think people are betting on the come. I do lean Tigers tonight.
Yep. No, I'm with you. It was 2 in the second last time out.
Okay.
Not the first, but either way. But Perez here has had a lot of close calls for sure there. So I'm with you on that one. Let's see what's next. Cleveland and Baltimore. Quantrill and Kyle Gibson. Baltimore minus 140, 145, down from minus 150. Gibson, last 2 has been really, really good. Quantrill, 6 earned run in his last time out. Any interest in Cleveland and Quantrill today? Thinking some regression from Gibson, or are you staying away thinking he might just be pretty damn solid here for a few in a row?
Well, they got 2 days left. They've been on the bench again. They've been our kryptonite, and I try to dive in on occasion with the Cleveland, and they just have got me. So they've been back on our sidelines till Thursday at least. I like to call them the pesky Orioles. A couple days ago, we took a jump on them on their team total, coming off of a bad game, and again, didn't show up Saturday. And then they decided to score a few runs in the 9th to make it look good. Another tough outing. I think Cleveland is the side here, believe it or not. How would I play it? Well, that's a good question. You can get them. No, that wouldn't be the way to do it. Let me look at this one thing here. Cleveland. No, Vegas is trying to give you the hint that they're going to score 4 today. 3.5 over minus 140, which obviously is too steep for us. You can get Baltimore on the bounce back to get to 5 at even money. So I lean the dog here, but if you like Baltimore, take their team total over 4.5 to get to 5 at even money.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I'm leaning Cleveland on that one a little bit as well. Next one, interesting pitching matchup here. Milwaukee and Toronto. Hauser versus Kikuchi. Hauser, 0 earned run in each of his last 2. Kikuchi, 3 earned run or more in each of his last 3. And Toronto's minus 154 here. Liking the Blue Jays to put a number up, crooked number up on Hauser finally here after what he's done the last couple.
I was digging into this game hard, and let me just give you an eye opener. Kikuchi money line first 5 minus 140, minus the hook is minus 115. So the numbers say that there's going to be potentially 5 runs scored or more in the first 5 innings. And I can read the board with the best of them. I'm just telling you out loud, it's a Jays number today. I would lean Kikuchi and company minus the hook first 5. I like them in the full game today as well. And I think it's actually going to be under. How's that sound? I'll give you a little bit of everything there.
Going under, okay. No, I'm with you. I was looking for some Hauser regression there and Kikuchi to bounce back a little bit there. So same page for the most part as that one. Milwaukee kind of just spinning the wheels a little bit there, 28 and 25. NL Central and AL Central looking pretty similar there. So Philly and the Mets. I've got a couple that I skipped over later in the day, but Philly and the Mets. Suarez versus Senga. Suarez, start number 4, has been very, very bad so far. Senga, 3 earned run in his last time out, but walks have still been an issue for him. Any read on either of these two guys? Are you waiting for a good Suarez start, or any love for either of these two either way here? I'm kind of throwing my hands up on this one.
Overnight number 140, Phillies plus 120, a 9 under minus 15 cents. Corrected number now 8.5 at Circle with a 145. There's some Senga love coming in, which is surprising. I was actually thinking initially it was a Phillies number. If you like the Mets tonight, minus the hook, you can get right now at minus 5 cents. So they got to be winning by 1 there. The team totals, Mets to get to 5, you can get them plus 115. If you like the Philly side, obviously you can take them on the dog price of 132, or if you just want to take a swing to get to 5, you can get them plus 125. So you have options on both sides. I woke up this morning, I thought it was a Phillies number to me, but the way the market is swinging, I might have been wrong, and it looks like the sharper side still might be the Mets. But again, don't lay 145 or 150 with Senga.
No, I'm with you, and the Senga hype is there. I mean, he had the 12 strikeout day, not last time, but the time before, but in all of his starts, he's got 1 start with less than 3 walks. I mean, the walks are still an issue, so I'm a little hesitant there for sure. I'm with you. I'm backing off on that number, at least for the most part there. He's been exciting, but it's still a little shaky there. And as far as Suarez, I'm waiting for Suarez to even out a little bit there on the other side of things. Let's see. Cincinnati and Boston going to your neck of the woods. Lively and Bello. Lively here, 31-year-old, has bounced around the league quite a bit. I don't think he pitched for anywhere in the majors in 2020, 21, or 22. So he's back in the majors after 4 years, and he's been solid so far. 2 earned runs or less in all 4 of these outings. Any chance that the old Boston Red Sox are going to give him the first rough outing of his season here? You got Bello on the other side of the mound, who's been looking a little bit better. Any love for Boston's offense tonight against Ben Lively, 31-year-old? A journeyman is one way to put it, but he's kind of a minor league journeyman, and just as much as a major league journeyman.
I'm looking at these numbers. Team total, this is one of them. Sox to get a touchdown, you can get over 5.5, plus 5 or 7 cents there. Bello has been good of late. They got Cincy scoring under 5. They're 4.5 team total, juiced way under, minus 145 there. The first 5 numbers for the Sox, minus the hook for Bello, you can get right now minus 20 to 25 cents at Circa. Their money line for the first 5 was like minus 175 or 80. I do lean Sox. I have no problem with someone playing the Sox minus the hook first 5. I like their team total to get to 6 or better. It's beautiful out here in Cape Cod. About an hour 5 from the park. It's about 10 degrees warmer. I think the ball will be jumping. I did have an overnight of a 10 juiced under with a 175. Now it's down to 167, still a 10. So I like the Sox. I'll give you the final score. Sox 6-4, 7-3, somewhere in that ballpark.
6-4, 7-3. I like it. I was thinking the same thing. I've been I might have wrongfully predicted Lively to get blown up last time out against St. Louis and was wrong. That I can't remember if I did or didn't, if I'm being honest with you. But been tracking him, expecting him to have some regression, and hasn't quite hit there yet. So, no, I like it as well tonight. But obviously, as you mentioned, one of these ones that's just tough to get into when you can kind of see it from I don't know if saying see it from a mile away is the right way to put it or not, but yeah, it's they're not making it easy for us to get into those types of angles that are favorable for what we'd like to do.
And the funny thing is, again, I talked about our record, and I should be doing cartwheels, duck boats, parades, and I'm just as frustrated as everyone else. A unit and a half here, 2 units here, a losing week of 2.76. It's just not there. Baseball is one of those sports where you look at the numbers all day, all night, and you try to find spots and angles where we can take plus money. Okay. And you know what we haven't talked about? And this is a perfect example. What do we talk about every Sunday night? And then we talk about on Monday morning?
The travel game?
Yeah. The Braves put up 10 or 11 Sunday night. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Playing the worst team ever created. Bad news Bears, A's, that's what they are. Minus 250. They're going to score 6 or 7. What did Atlanta score 1? And then next thing you know, it's 4-1, 6-1. My point is every parlay, money line, run line, alternative line got blown up. Why? It's that ESPN late night travel game. Guys, I don't care what it is. It's an auto fade. It is an auto fade. And I'll say this year, if we've had 10 weeks, I'll say at worst, they're 7-3 right now.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I know
think of one. Got him one.
Yeah, I can think of one, and I was by myself, and I stopped the show to bring it up, and then I was like, well, it's DeGrom going up against scrub offense. I don't remember at the time. Maybe I'm off on that. DeGrom was one of them, and the offense wasn't fantastic. I know.
It was Kansas City. They were going to Kansas City.
Yes. Okay, so I was right. Yeah, so tin can offense, and it was DeGrom. So that was the one that was I know off the top of my head, yeah.
And the Dodgers got us 2 weeks ago on that game. I backed off because of every reason why. And then again, it would have been a hero if I gave out the A's yesterday.
Yeah, it's tough to convince people, especially the Oakland A's of all teams against the Braves. It's tough to convince people. So, all right, moving on. Kansas City and St. Louis. Greinke and Mikolas. Greinke, both these guys pitching this month. Greinke 2.73 ERA over 5 starts in May. Mikolas 2.4 ERA over 5 starts in May. 7 innings, 0 earned runs in his last time out. And these are two guys that I would both kind of be waiting on some regression at some point. Greinke a little bit more than Mikolas. Mikolas seems to be in a bit of a groove. I don't know. Maybe you like him to regress tonight. I don't know. Any lean on one of these to regress more than the other, or maybe even you'll like both of them to regress?
Regress is what the Cardinals bats have done again of late when they were so ugly to start the year. They couldn't hit with a T-ball from second base. Yesterday, we gave out over 5 or over 5.5 first 5. Casey starts the first inning, first and second, no outs, needless to say. I think they scored 1 and speed up the process. Get 3 from Kansas City first 5. I get 0 hits. I didn't say runs. 0 hits and runs from the Cardinals first 5. Looking for regression, obviously. I had a 175 with a 9. It is now 185 with a 9. You can get St. Louis minus the hook first 5, minus 28 cents. And I think they're another one of those teams. Let me see if I'm correct. No, they're not. Vegas has got them scoring 5 today, and Kansas City 4 with a 9. If I had to play this game, the only thing I would do is St. Louis minus the hook first 5, and I'd get out. That would be my take on this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd lean on Greinke having some more regression than Mikolas, as far as that is concerned there. So no, it's a tough one to get into again. And yeah, I see a flat 5, not even at only one offering, but not even quite at plus money for Cardinals team total either there. So all right, few more. And like I said, I've got a few that I skipped over, but you can obviously stop us there. Tampa Bay and the Cubs. McClanahan versus Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks start number 2 of the season. Not good last time out. Not very good each of the last 2 seasons after a solid handful of seasons to, the first chunk of his career. Now these last 2 not very good, last 2 seasons. And first start of the year not very good. McClanahan, obviously, full form McClanahan right now. I don't know what your thoughts on Hendricks are in general. He, before these last 2 years, was a guy, one of my favorite pitchers to look for regression or, bounce back starts. Now has just obviously not been very good. Any love for Hendricks at all in the past, or, maybe hoping for the future at all, or were you not a Hendricks guy?
I fell out of my chair last week when I saw him pitching. I'm like,
Yeah.
The guy was the Last Supper. I mean, this guy he's like that skin tag that won't go away. I'm just like, but no, you're right. And again, now he goes up against McClanahan. Taj pitched great yesterday and lost. If you go to Fangraphs and look at the offensive numbers, I mean, the Rays are lapping the field. They're lapping the field on every category almost. And you look at them tonight, I had a 180 overnight with an 8 under. It's up to 8.5 at a 188. You can grab the Cubs plus 170. I was hoping to see a higher. I can't get the team total 4.5 over minus 135. I can't. I won't lay the 135. So I have to look over here. Rays minus a hook first 5 is minus 40 cents. So this is a perfect example. Vegas is blocking me out of this game. They really are. I think that the Rays can get to 5 or better today on a bounce back. I'm not laying the price there. I'm not laying the 40 cents in the first 5 minus the hook. If you can pull up the one number that I would think about, and I haven't done one of these yet this year, what is the Rays full game minus a 1.5?
Not even plus money, minus 115.
That's the play. That is the cheapest juice you can get into that game. That's the play right there. And that will be my first full game run line of the season. I would take the Rays to get to 5 if you give me plus money. I would take them first 5 minus the hook if it was anywhere from even money to 122, 120. I hate laying 25s and 30s. So there it is. There's TJ. Shout out to TJ. TJ, what's up? And Connor, I was missed you earlier here. So Rays minus a 1.5. Full game minus 115. There's the freebie to everyone. How's that?
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, heading to my neck of the woods. Angels and the White Sox. Both time White Sox start to show some signs of momentum. They drop 3 out of 4 a few weeks ago to Kansas City, and now this past weekend to Detroit, and then obviously lose last night to the Angels in Game 1, 6-4. Giolito versus Tyler Anderson. Giolito had been on a nice little stretch. Give up 7 walks last time. Didn't get through the 4th inning. Anytime he's had that's not really been a massive concern. If he's walking people like that, you might be. If he's putting up 4 walks for the first 2-3 innings, he might be getting put on the IL after that. He's not really the guy that when he's ever had a bad walk outing, he does that twice in a row, from my understanding. Hits weren't too bad in that game. 6 hits or 3 and 2/3, so not great, obviously. But Tyler Anderson, his one of his best starts last time out. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Any love for either of these guys? Would you expect an Anderson regression? You concerned about Giolito? You feel good about Giolito? Where are you at with these 2 pitchers here?
7 walks obviously scares me. That's like ready to go on the IL.
That's what I'm saying.
the numbers are one-sided to you. I had a 135 with an 8.5. It's 137 now, but the real eye opener was White Sox money line first five was 150, which is an eye opener. They think I like calling them Jeets. Jeets on a bounce back spot here. I would lean minus the hook first five, minus 12 cents. I would get in that way. And yes, I'm waiting for some Anderson regression. But again, I'm telling you right now, if he's walking the park early and so, if Ohtani, Trout, Ward, whatever gets a hold of one, Hunter Renfroe, and you're staring at a crooked number to start like you were yesterday, thanks for playing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if he's walking people, like he's never had that really walk issue like that. So if he's walking people again, he's gonna get yanked, and we might not see him for a couple weeks there. And I think this is a guy where you say you'll probably know early anyways. And like you said, whether it's a good start or not even just what we're talking about, good or bad start, you should probably find out pretty quick from this one from Jeets as well. So. I do like it. White Sox gets a lefty, not the same as it was a few years ago, but still. Maybe a little fire there tonight as well. So let's see. Moving down the line. Minnesota, Houston. I've got a couple after this that I skipped over. But Minnesota, Houston, another one that I've got on here. Joe Ryan versus Bialik. Houston minus 110 on FanDuel. I'm seeing open as Minnesota the favorite here. Joe Ryan obviously has been a stud so far. Bialik actually not bad through his first 5 starts of the season. 4 earned run his last time out, though. Is that any telling? Was that is he going to have a bounce back tonight in your thoughts, or is that kind of the start of maybe some extended regression from Bialik there in Houston?
Well, and I know that the Joe Ryan Express, they score touchdowns for him almost every start.
Yep.
And my overnight number was minus 125. You're right. It has flipped. Currently at the Circa, the Astros minus 108 and the Twins minus 102 and 8.5 juiced under minus 15 cents. And I wanted to give you some shocking numbers. First 5 on Joe Ryan today. Money line minus 150. And minus the half run is only minus 105. And I talked about Kukuch is minus 140, and the run line is minus 115. So my point is, they think that you're going to get a good start on Joe, and then maybe the back end falters. We had Minnesota first 5 yesterday, and we won 4-1 on that one. So everyone is expecting a bounce back. The numbers are telling me. First 5, they think Minnesota, or they're baiting us. So if you believe in the bounce back, jump on the Astros. You can get some nice numbers there, first 5 especially. But the full game, I don't have a problem. But I will tell you this. Let me see the numbers. Let me go over to here for everyone. Minnesota team total 4.5 juiced under minus 132. They score 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 for runs for these guys. So as a little cherry on top, if you're betting the Astros today, take the Twins team total over 4.5 to get to 5 or better. Get yourself a little plus 110, plus 112 as your saver, and maybe the Astros win this game 6-5 or something like that.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it at all. I do not hate that at all. Let's see. Moving on down the line. I skipped over Atlanta, Oakland, unless you've got anything there. Same thing with Colorado, Arizona. Feel free to stop either of those two.
The only thing I can say on the Atlanta game is their team total is 5.5 juiced under 135. You can go to the window and get Atlanta to get a touchdown or better today, plus 115. It's the only way you get in the game. You're not laying the 250. You can't play the first 5 minus the hook. Some people will run to the window. I'll ask you the number now. What is Atlanta minus a run and a half full game today?
Minus 135.
Yeah. So I personally, if I'm going to lay, I'm going to try to take some plus money out of this. A minus 250. You just said minus a run and a half full game is minus 135. My swing on Atlanta bouncing back today is to get a touchdown. You don't need the extra point. You don't need the 2-point conversion. You just got to get to 6 or better, and you're going to give me plus 115. That's how I would play the Braves today.
Yeah, I like it. And Sears, Oakland's starting pitcher, you could absolutely make the case that he is due for some regression there. So I like it. I like that, especially comparing that to the run line there. Not worth it at all for the minus 135. And I think that's the best, most competitive price that you can find, let alone, I assume, minus 150 elsewhere. So Yankees and Mariners, another one up here. Cortez and Gilbert. Cortez, 4-earned run last time out for him has kind of been a little all over the place. Gilbert this month has been a lot more consistent. Not fantastic, but a lot more consistent for sure than he was to start. 2 or 3 earned run in each of his starts this month. And we are staring at the Yankees as the road team. Seattle minus 140 right now with a total of 7. Any indication that these guys are going to be dazzling tonight, or is that a little bit of a mind games with the total of 7 there?
Gilbert's been great on the first 5. I'm not going to lay the money line minus 140. You can get him minus a half at plus 8 cents. So as long as they're winning by 1 run and they're not tied or better, you win that. So I like Gilbert first 5 minus the hook there. As for the team totals, Seattle 3.5 juiced over minus 134. So they're baiting you for them to get to 4. If you like the Yankees today, you can get them to get to 4 at plus 105. So again, if you like the Yankees today, take them to go over 3.5 plus 105. If you like Seattle today, I like them minus the half run first 5 plus 8 cents.
I like it, my friend. That was the last one I had. If you've got any of these other 3 games here up on the board, stop me. Gonsolin back for the Dodgers after I think his worst 3 earned runs in 5 innings, his worst start. I think we can pencil him for 1 or less in first 5 tonight. That's one of my most consistent, at least 5 inning guys. I don't get a chance to bet on him. I'm not saying tonight, but. Love Gonsolin typically in 5 innings and especially in a bounce-back start there. But anything else that you would like to put down? Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Washington, Dodgers, or Colorado, Arizona?
The Dodger game, again, get a touchdown, 6 or better. You can get them at even money. The Dodgers are minus 265 overnight, now at the circa minus 292 with a 9. So maybe this is a 6-3 game. 7-2, something like that. That's the only way I could play the Dodgers. It's Gallen Day, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gallen got lit up his last start, correct?
No, I believe you are correct, unless it was 2 starts ago. Let me double check. 2 starts ago. Last time he was a lot better. 8 runs allowed against Pittsburgh 2 starts ago. Last time, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned.
I can't get into that game. Their team total 4.5 over minus 140. And Colorado team total under 3.5 minus 136. See what Gallen's for 5. That's got to be comical as well. Gallen first 5 minus the hook minus 155. So can't get in there. And then what was the last one? San Fran, Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Overnight San Fran minus 140. Now 142 at circa. You can get the Pirates plus 130, 8.5 juiced under minus 20 cents. You can go and grab San Fran minus the hook first 5 minus 5 cents. If you like San Fran today, don't have to worry about their bullpen. Team totals, you can get San Fran to get to 5 plus 5 cents or even money. And if you do like Pittsburgh, you can get them to get to 4, but you got to lay 30 cents. So I would be looking San Fran first 5 minus the hook, and I would look for them to get to 5 at even money before laying the 135 or 140.
Works for me, my friend. I have got nothing else on the MLB slate. Obviously, not really anything else going on. DeAndre Hopkins released now, official by the Arizona Cardinals. That's the only thing I've got coming across the desk right now. But other than that, I don't think I have too much for closing thoughts other than getting ready for NBA finals starting on Thursday?
All right. I'm trying to look because there's some day games tomorrow. We have a 1 o'clock, a couple threes, 3:45. So tomorrow night, one. Hold on 1 second, Riley. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd have 7 baseball games to break down tomorrow afternoon. We can go over that. We can start talking. Actually, you know what you can bring to the table tomorrow? Little PGA.
The Memorial. That's exactly
The
what I just saw as
Memorial.
well. Yep.
Jack's house.
Works for me.
Tonight at 7 o'clock, myself and Scotty Webb will be here talking MLB. Tomorrow at 1:30, I'll have Pop DiBiase. We'll get an LA look there. Myself and Riley will be on around the same time talking MLB and PGA. And then at 6 o'clock, Brady Cannon will be coming on to also talk some PGA. Always a pleasure. Any closing thoughts, Riley?
Other than the look ahead, I don't think I have too much else. Obviously, Memorial, and then is it the U.S.? One of the other two majors is coming up not too far beyond that, I know, as far as golf is concerned. I can't remember if it's the U.S. Open or the British Open.
I want to say U.S. Open on Father's Day weekend. That is
Yes.
my thought.
Yep, you are correct. So 2 weeks after this one. And next week, Canadian Open, usually has got a couple guys sticking around for that one too. So, nope, it's a good stretch of golf and plenty of other things. I believe, is it this? Nope, sorry, not this weekend. For another weekend, there'll be a pay-per-view UFC card as well.
And I think not this weekend, the following weekend, we'll also have the Belmont as well. And me and Andrew will start to get ready for some Canadian football action coming soon. I got to reach out to Dan Alexander on the Premier Lacrosse starting up this weekend. I think it is there. And other than that, I want to give a shout out to Ben Cohen and Joe Shea behind the desk here. They'll be here for with us for the summer. They'll be cutting and chopping and having some fun with our shows and content. So we'll have some fun there. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investment, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy the evening. Stay in your lanes. And if you have dinner, bring a cocktail, some popcorn, peanuts, and Cracker Jacks. Myself and Scotty will be back at 7 p.m. See you soon.